Physiography and drainage. Geographical explanation. India. The physiography of India. The country is divided into 5 major physiographic divisions. The Himalayas, the North Indian plains, the Peninsula, coastal plains, island groups. The Himalayas is one of the young fold mountains in the world. The Himalayas extend from Pamir north, Tajikistan to east. It is a major mountain system of the Asian in India. It extends from Jammu and Kashmir to Arunachal. Is not a single mountain, many parallel ranges in the system. The southernmost is known as the Shivalik. It is also known as the youngest range. Next to Shivalik are Lesser Himalayas, Greater Himalayas or Himadris and Trans-Himalayan ranges are young to old respectively. North Indian plains. This division lies between Himalayan mountains and the peninsula in the south. Similarly, Assam and Punjab in the west to Assam in the east. It is mostly a flat low-lying area. The North Indian plains are divided into 2 parts. The part lying to the east of the Aravalli is basin of the river Ganga and is therefore known as the Ganga Plains. It slopes eastward. Most of the West Bengal state of India and Bangladesh together constitute the delta of Ganga and Brahmaputra system. It is known as Sundarbans. It is considered to be the world's largest delta. The western part of the North Indian is occupied by desert. It is also known as Thar Desert of Marush. Most of Rajasthan occupied by this desert. To the north of the desert lies the plains of Punjab and Delhi ranges. Their plains have formed as a result of the depositional work by the river Sar. The slope of the plains is towards the west. Because the soil here is very fertile, agriculture is largely practiced in this region. Brazil. Even a cursory look at the map will make you realize that a large part of Brazil is occupied by highlands, plateaus, and small mountains. There are no very high and long extending mountains in the country, except for the Amazon basin, and in southwest along the upper part of Paraguay basin, there are no wide plains in the country. Even the coastal plains are restricted in their expanse. The physiographic division of Brazil are as follows. The highlands, the escarpment, the coastal region, the plains, the islands group. The highlands. The southern Brazil is occupied by an extensive plateau. It is differently described as Brazilian highland or Brazilian shield or Brazilian plateau. Brazilian and Guiana highlands together form the core of South American continent. The main part of the Guiana highland is in Peninsula and it extends up to French Guiana. In Brazil, it covers the states of Roraima, Pará and Amapá in the north. The lower part of these highlands is found in Brazil, but the highest peak of Brazil, Pico de Neblina, is 3014 meters high and lies on the border between Brazil and Peninsula. The region to the east and south of Brazilian highland have an altitude of more than 1000 meters. But in other parts the altitude is between 500 to 1000 meters. The highlands gradually slopes towards north and slopes are not very steep. The distributaries of Amazon flowing through this region makes rapid and waterfalls. Towards the north the slopes are steep but not abrupt. A number of rivers taking off from the terminal positions of the highlands and flow northwards to meet Atlantic Ocean. Some major rivers like Uruguay, Paraguay and Parana originates from the southern slopes of the highlands and enters Argentina. Its slopes towards the east is steep and it appears in the form of an escarpment. The Great Escarpment. Though it occupies a very small area, the nature of its slope and the effect it has on the climate makes it a separate physiographic division. The eastern side of the highland is demarcated because of the escarpment. In this region, the altitude of the escarpment is 790 meters. In some regions, the highest Height decreases gradually. The escarpment is very steep, particularly from Sao Paulo to Porto Alegre. The escarpment acts as a barrier to the southeast. Southeast trade winds giving rise to the rain shadow area in the northeastern part of the highlands. The region to the north of this area is called as drought cordillera. Do you know? Praia do Cassino or Cassino Beach is the southernmost beach of the Brazilian coast on South Atlantic Ocean. It is considered to be the longest sandy beach in the world. It is a continuous beach extending from more than 200 kilometers. Drainage. Geographical explanation. Brazil. As far as the drainage in Brazil is concerned, there are three major river basins. First, Amazon Basin. Second, Paraguay-Parana system in the southwest. Third, San Francisco in the eastern part of the highlands and other rivers at the coast. Amazon Basin. Amazon collects its headwater from the eastern slopes of Andes Mountains in the Peru. Amazon rivers receives huge discharge. This is about 2 lakh meter feet per second. As a result, Amazon washes off the loads supplied to it from the catchments. Consequently, sediments are not disposed even at the mouth. A dense network of distributaries, which is a characteristic feeder mouth area, is by and large absent in the mouth region of Amazon. Instead, we find a series of islands develop along the mouth of Amazon beyond the coastline in the Atlantic Ocean. It will be interesting to note that at the mouth of the width of Amazon kilometer, taking consideration 50 km away from your home, you will get an idea of the width. Most of the course of Amazon rivers is suitable for navigations. Paraguay-Parana system. These two rivers are located in the southern southwestern part of the Brazil. Both the rivers form the catchments of River Plata in Argentina. These two rivers and rivers Uruguay in eastern south of the highlands collect their headwaters from the southern portion of the highlands, San Francisco. It is the third important river of the entire basin of this river is within Brazil. It occupies the eastern portion of the highlands. The river flows towards the north from a distance of about 1000 km over the plateau and then takes a sharp eastward turn to enter the coastal strip along the Atlantic Ocean. The river is navigable for a distance of about 250 kilometers in its downstream reaches. Coastal rivers. Brazil has a number of short coastal rivers. The coastal areas being densely populated, these rivers attain significance. River Paraíba and River Itapicura flowing northward meets the North Atlantic Oceans. The river that enters South Atlantic Ocean collects their headwaters along the escarpment. River Paraguay enters the Atlantic Ocean near Salvador town. India. Drainage of India. Rivers in India are largely classified according to their source region into Himalayas and Peninsular Rivers. Himalayan drainage from various glaciers. The discharge of water increases in summer. They flood during monsoons too. They are perennial rivers. The drainage covers two major river systems such as Sindhu river system and Ganga river system. Sindhu and its tributaries Chenab, Ravi and Satluj drain the western Himalayas, that is, they flow through the state of Jammu and Kashmir. They flow almost parallel to each other. A major distributary of river Sindhu, the Satluj, originates near Mansarovar and flows westwards. Punjab plains have formed for the deposition work of these rivers and its tributaries. Sindhu flows through Pakistan and then meets the Arabian Sea. The river Ganga originates from the Gangotri glaciers and crosses the Himalayas to become an east-flowing river. Many tributaries of Ganga also flows in a similar manner. Yamuna originates at Yamunotri, is a major tributary of Ganga. Another major tributary of Ganga flows through the northern part of the Greater Himalayas, crosses the Himalayas to enter India. When it flows through the Himalayas, it is called Tansingpo. When it crosses the Himalayas, it is called Dhiang, and its eastward flowing towards it is called as the Brahmaputra. From time to time, Ganga meets its tributaries, hence its discharge increases. Ganga receives Brahmaputra as its tributaries in its lower reaches in Bangladesh. The huge volume of water and huge depositions has leads to its formation of a large delta. Besides this, Himalayan rivers, Ganga rivers, a number of tributaries from peninsula like Chambal, Ken, Betava, Swan, Damodar, etc. Peninsular rivers. The peninsular river system can further be divided into east flowing meeting the Bay of Bengal and west flowing meeting the Arabian Sea. The western Ghats form a major water divides in the peninsula. The peninsular rivers, being rain-fed rivers, seldom face the problems of floods. They are seasonal in nature. The west-flowing rivers occupying the area between the western Ghats and the Arabian coastline are short in length but swift. This condition of short and swift river system exists in the state of Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra and southern Gujarat. Further northwards one comes across the river system flowing into the Gulf of Khambar. Therefore, river systems are Tapi, Narmada, Mahi and Sabarmati. Tapi and Narmada flow slowly towards west winds. Mahi river flows from northeast to southwest direction, whereas river Sabarmati, collecting its headwaters from the southeastern slopes of Aravalli ranges, flowing in somewhat north-south direction. Another noteworthy running river forming the catchments of Arabian Sea is river Luni. It originates along the western slopes of Aravalli range and flows in somewhat northwest to east-southeast direction and flows into Gulf of Kutch. Rivers meeting the Bay of Bengal. Most of the area of peninsula is drained by the rivers flowing towards Bay of Bengal. The important river system of these groups are Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Mahanadi basin occupies the northeastern part of the peninsula. Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri originates in the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats. River Godavari is the second largest river system of India in terms of the catchment area. To the south of Godavari, it is located the basin of river Krishna. Its major tributaries are Bhima and Tungabhadra. River Kaveri basin flows through the state of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. It is one of the major rivers of peninsula. It is a river that has been harnessed for irrigation since a long time. Do you know, the Chola king constructed a dam on the river Kaveri in the 2nd century AD near Tiruchirappalli and started irrigation in this deltic region. Till today, the dam and its canals are operational.